Her motorcade pulls up for her first interview on American soil. Ahead is a busy week of meetings with high-ranking U.S. officials. The leader of Belarusian opposition, Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya, who lives in exile in Lithuania, is on her first official visit to Washington at the invitation of the U.S. State Department. And she is straightforward about why she took that transatlantic flight from Europe.
I want the USA to keep Belarus on the agenda. And my main purpose, of course, is talk about Belarus, about the situation, about escalation of violence from the side of the regime.
Tsikhanouskaya had to leave Belarus with 2 minor children after a brutal crackdown on peaceful protesters following a contested election on August 9th of last year, in which incumbent President Alexander Lukashenko claimed victory for a 6th consecutive time. She says America's help is needed in her country.
I call on the USA to be with us. It's very important when a regime is destroying everything in Belarus, destroying mass media, destroying all the organizations. It's extremely important to support all those people.
One of the outstanding issues for democratic Belarus, and Tsikhanouskaya personally, is the release of more than 500 political prisoners arrested by authorities during the crackdown. Her husband, Sergei, is one of them.
And the only way out, how to release prisoners, is put political, economical pressure on them. And I'm sure that it will happen rather soon.
Tsikhanouskaya's meetings in Washington will be closely watched not only in Minsk. Russian President Vladimir Putin, who views Belarus as his political backyard, will be observant as well.
Doesn't necessarily want to see, a fellow autocrat that he perceives to be part of his sphere of influence fall. He certainly doesn't want to see democracies rise, on Russia's border.
The U.S. political establishment understands that quite well, but says the ties of the two are not unbreakable.
There has not been a smooth relationship between Russia and Belarus over a period of time.
Increasing the political and especially economic pressure on Lukashenko is what can make him toxic, even for Putin, U.S. lawmakers say.
So what needs to change is there's got to be a higher price for him paying. That means double down on the sanctions.
Meanwhile, despite the sweeping sanctions imposed by the United States, the European Union and others on the Belarusian regime at the end of June, the country's civil society and media organizations were hit with yet another wave of arbitrary arrests and detentions last week. Igor Tikhanenko, VOA News, Washington.